Today on Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the Hawke Reflex Sight Wide View Circle Dot. This is Adrienne with Review This Thing. If you saw a review of the Hawke Vantage IR Turkey Dot Scope that we did and thought it looked pretty cool, but also thought you would prefer a red dot, then stay tuned because I think this review is going to be for you. I've used red dots on my shotgun since I started turkey hunting a few years ago and pretty much don't think I would do it any other way. I absolutely love having a clear focus point, as well as the fact that I can move my head around in different angles and get in weird positions and know that as long as that dot is on my target, I'm going to hit it. I've actually had this Hawke Circle Dot red dot for a couple years, and last year I was actually able to kill a turkey with it. So because of that, I'm ready to tell you what I think. Let's review this thing. As always, we're going to cover the facts. The first part is fit. The main question is, will the Hawke red dot fit your gun? So the Hawke red dot comes with a weaver rail attached. So basically, if you have a weaver rail or pick rail on your gun, then it should fit. Or as you can see how we have it mounted on this Stoeger M3020, if your gun doesn't have a rail or isn't tapped, you can get a Meadow Creek Mounts pick rail attachment. I actually kind of prefer this method because it puts the sight further away and lower, so you have even more field of view. Beyond that, I have heard that there are some adapter plates you can get from some third-party manufacturers. I didn't do a bunch of research into that because I haven't really thought about using it on a pistol, but know that that is possibly an option that's available. So if you use any of the methods I talked about, you should have no trouble getting this to fit on your gun. So because of that, I'm going to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now is the Hawke Wide View Circle Dot as advertised. So the first thing Hawke advertises is that it's ideal for ARs, pistols, and hunting rifles. Well, we haven't tried it on a pistol yet because, as I mentioned, it's going to need that adapter plate. We also haven't tried it on an AR or a hunting rifle yet, but I feel like that'd be very easy to mount because of the presence of a rail on most of those. One thing that was interesting to me is that they actually don't advertise using it on shotguns, but that's really my primary use for it, and I know a lot of other people have used it for turkey hunting especially. Another thing they advertise is that it's parallax free from 10 yards. And that's what I was talking about earlier with being able to move your head around, and the main part of that red dot stays right there where I want it to be. And finally, they advertise that it's shockproof and waterproof. I know hunting, we've had it in a lot of different conditions, some rain, fog, hot weather, cold weather, and so far it's done great. We talk about this a lot. We're not great torture testers. I want to make sure I take care of things, so we haven't tried to break it. But with just our normal everyday use, it's held up great. I will tell you that last year while we were hunting, something happened to the coating on the lens, and it almost looked like when you drop oil in water, it had kind of that rainbow circle. I reached out to customer service and they really had no idea what would cause it because it's not something they had seen either, but they were fantastic. I sent it back. They tried to fix it. Again, couldn't figure out what had happened, so they sent me a brand new one. And this one we've had on here since then, and I've used it plenty and haven't had any issues. Overall, I think the Hawke Circle Dot does pretty much what they say it should, other than the fact that I don't know how quick I would be to put it on a pistol. So because of that, we're going to give as advertised a 4.8 out of 5. Now into construction and durability. The Hawke Wide View Circle Dot is made of aluminum and is 2.3 inches long, 1.5 inches wide, and sits a total of 1.8 inches tall and weighs right around 3 ounces. So it is pretty lightweight and compact, although not as compact as others. But that design is on purpose, which is why they call this the wide view. You can see the viewing window actually sits a bit wider than the base of the sight. The nice thing about the wider viewing window is you can see more of the action that's going on without blocking your view, especially, as I mentioned, having it mounted lower on the gun like we do this one. It did not block any of my view last year, and I felt like I could clearly see everything. It obviously has an illuminated reticle. There is a 35 MOA illuminated circle with a 2 MOA dot in the middle. So circle, dot. Get it? At first, I did not think I was going to like it because I really like having that one dot to focus on, but it kind of grew on me, especially when I was turkey hunting and I had the turkey in the sight. All I had to do was just get that circle around the turkey's head, and I knew that I was going to be dead on. Now, Robbie would say he does not like the circle dot reticle. We've talked about this before. He has an astigmatism, so most of the time those illuminated dots are fuzzy, so they take up more room and kind of cloud the picture. Interestingly enough, though, if you watched our Hawke Turkey Scope review, he would tell you there that that reticle doesn't do that. Do keep in mind, though, that if you don't like the circle dot, Hawke makes this exact same red dot in just a single dot. The reticle has 8 levels of adjustment and are easily adjusted with these buttons on the side. So on really sunny days, you can still see it, but first thing in the morning, it's not going to totally wash out your sight picture. And another thing that is very conveniently placed is the battery compartment. It's actually on the opposite side of those controls, so if you need to change the battery, you can just do so without having to take the whole red dot off. which is pretty huge because that means you don't have to re-zero it anytime you might need to change the battery. As far as battery life, it takes a CR2032 battery. I couldn't find anywhere on the website that tells how long you should expect the battery to last. Like I said, we had it last year and hunted with it, and then this year we've shot it some and the battery hasn't died yet. And they do have a battery saving feature of standby mode, so if this sight is inactive for 5 minutes, then it goes into standby mode. And the only thing you have to do to turn it back on is just move it a little bit. So if you're sitting on a turkey and it's coming in and it shuts off, just a tiny bit of movement should turn it back on. The Hawke Circle Dot has 1 MOA adjustments that are easily done with a hex wrench, which made it simple for us to get it sighted in. Just a few adjustments here and there and got zeroed pretty quickly. The only negative is it doesn't seem to really click in, so you kind of need to pay attention whenever you're adjusting it to know how far you've gone. And a nice touch is that it comes with a battery, adjustment tools, as well as a rubber cover so you can protect it whenever you're not using it. One thing to keep in mind, as with pretty much every red dot I've seen, is when it's really bright out, there is going to be a red glare flare on the lens. It's not so much that you can't stay on target or find that circle dot, but just know that that's there. Make sure you shoot it some in really sunny conditions so you get used to it. One potential design improvement could be to make a larger lens hood to block even more sun from hitting it. Now, if you have a red dot on your turkey gun that you've used that doesn't have a glare, then please comment below and let me know what that one is. As far as durability, other than that little lens issue that Hawke very quickly took care of us, this thing has held up great. We've not had any trouble with it. They do have a 2-year warranty, so if something should go wrong, then they'll likely take care of it as quickly for you as they did for me. There are only a couple of design features that I would like to see different. Potentially automatic brightness adjustment, and it would be nice if elevation and windage adjustments actually clicked so you knew how far you'd moved. But overall, we've been really happy. So we're going to give construction and durability a 4.75 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. Unfortunately, I had quite a bit of difficulty finding scored reviews for this red dot. I looked around different places and as always tried to find some complaints. A couple places people complained that it had terrible battery life. If you look at the expected battery life on a lot of red dots, some will say like 20,000 hours or 50,000 hours, whereas others will tell you on bright setting you can expect 300. So it varies depending on manufacturer. Again, we haven't had any trouble with it cutting off and the battery's pretty easy to change. So if you have this and you can tell me about the expectation, then comment below, we'd really like to know. And then other people complain that during the brightest part of the day, it wasn't bright enough to see. As I mentioned, we've had it out hunting a lot and don't recall any issues not being able to see that red dot. But we're gonna tell you the score we found. So for testimonials and reviews, it gets a 4.5 out of 5. And finally, should you buy this thing? I'll start off by telling you that MSRP is $209, but I've seen it on various websites for as low as $179, which is a very reasonable price for this red dot. So far, I've been really pleased with the quality of the glass and how quickly customer service was ready to help. I also like several of the design features, such as the location of the battery compartment, the adjustment buttons, as well as that wide view for turkey hunting. I think for that $180 to $200 price, this is a high quality red dot that you're gonna love, especially if you're really looking for that circle dot feature. So because of that, I'm gonna give it, should you buy this thing, a 4.8 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our Hawke Wide View Circle Dot review video. While you're here, watch a bunch of other videos, give them a thumbs up, share them with your friends, comment and let us know what you think. Check out our website, reviewthisthingtv.com, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.